Pacing a Toolkit. Hi, I am Melissa from melissaversusfibromyalgia.com and we are talking all things pacing. So we have two videos that are going to go live on YouTube and in the Melissa versus Fibromyalgia Facebook group. And then we're going to have a third bonus video for newsletter subscribers. So make sure that you're on the list. I've got a link for that below. If you miss out, then the only way to access that will be in the Melissa versus Fibromyalgia membership. For those who are in the membership, you will be getting all of the videos, the audios, the downloadable PDF of all the talks, and three special templates. One of them is a pacing worksheet, one of them is a perpetual cleaning plan, and the other one is a daily symptom log. So if you want to join the group, there's a link for that below. All of those things will be available immediately and also a week before everybody else gets theirs, and it will be available ongoing. But what are we doing today? We are talking about pacing. I think it's really important. This has been a requested topic, so I'm super excited to be able to deliver this in this way. So we're going to talk about what pacing is, how on earth do we get started, why on earth should we care about it, and I've got a bit of homework for you to do so that you can ascertain your baseline and get started with your own plan, because it's all very well to listen to me share some information with you, but if you don't actually do anything about it, then it's kind of worthless, right? So what is pacing and how do we get started? Pacing is a crucial concept to get when we're living with chronic pain and fatigue. So finding and utilizing our energy envelope can help us to avoid unnecessarily higher levels of pain and fatigue. So when you are doing far too much, you're causing more pain and fatigue, right? And that's not what we want. Almost every man and his dog, I don't know where that saying comes from, but anyway, almost every man and his dog who write about managing fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue syndrome recommend it. And they are right. But what does it mean and how can it have practical applications in our life? So I'm a big fan of the Fast and Furious movies. It's Vin Diesel for me, by the way. But they all live their lives a quarter mile at a time. Now, as a New Zealander, I can't properly visualize that because we talk in kilometers. But as a chronic illness fighter, I get that whole living a moment at a time. So when I get up, I'm generally coping until it's the baby's nap so that I can have a rest and do my meditation. Yoga Nidra guided meditation is my best bet for true relaxation. I cannot nap at all. But after that, I'm coping through till bedtime. Those are kind of the markers that frame my day. But how on earth did I figure out what my markers are? How did I decide what my work-life balance was? How did I decide what my energy envelope is? Well, I'm going to share all of that with you. So pacing simply means aligning what we do with our energy and symptom levels. So I've spoken before about trying to outlive my levels. So working as if I were a 60 on the CFIDS rating scale, which we'll talk about soon. But actually my symptom levels were in line with a 50. So I really was just causing myself more pain and fatigue than was necessary. So the concept of pacing actually transcends those big boundaries, like how many hours we work, whatever that means for us, whether that's paid work or volunteering or parenting or caregiving or housekeeping. But it's an important place to start, those big areas, right? So pacing is a tool that can be used for those big whole of life things, but can also be used day to day and moment to moment. So it doesn't just mean doing less overall, it also means using our energy as wisely as possible. So working with our bodies and our circadian rhythms and our natural energy rhythms through the day. It also means delegating tasks that just don't work for us. So there's quite a lot to it, yeah? But how can we start to assess and implement wise pacing? So I've got, I mentioned just before, the CFIDS rating scale. So you can find your own rating scale. I'll give you a link below. It's the ME, CFS, and Fibromyalgia rating scale. This is the best symptom scale I've come across. You can use whatever one you like. I like this one because it talks about 0 to 100, so it almost gives you a visualization of percentage. So it gives us a good way to kind of envision our cup compared to other people and gives us a sense of the symptom severity, so mild, moderate, or severe, and puts it alongside those hours of work for a frame of reference. So for example, I talked to you about previously being a 50. A 50 says able to do about 4 to 5 hours of work or similar activity at home. Daily rests required. Symptoms mostly moderate. Okay, so my symptoms were mostly moderate, yet I was trying to do 6 or 7 hours of work a day outside of the house, in addition to all of the responsibilities I had in the house. So I was just keeping myself in a cycle of more pain and fatigue. And when I brought it back and came in line with my level, it actually helped me to go up a step. So now I am actually a 60. So that's able to do about 6 to 7 hours work a day. That's work in and out of the house. That's all your work, right? With mostly mild to moderate symptoms. So my symptoms are kind of on the mild end, but they're all day, every day, no matter what, with flares quite regularly to make us moderate. But knowing this, having this as my baseline and understanding really helps to create a framework. So what I would like you to do is find your rating, whether you use this rating scale or something else. Just find your baseline and what your rating is so that you can start to get a sense, because it will help you with your brainstorming. Then I want you to write down what you do each day and track your pain and fatigue levels, and then look for a pattern over a 2-week period. There's actually a simple activity tracker which you can download for free from the ME/CFS and Fibromyalgia self-help website. I will provide you a link to that. So that's a really great way to do it. If you have a pedometer or a Fitbit or some kind of other activity tracker, that can be useful for helping you to find your ideal energy envelope. So some people, for example, find their ideal step count, the step count that helps them to be as well as possible without causing extra pain, and they try to live in line with that. That's a really great way to do it. And listen to what your body is telling you. So grab an empty piece of paper and a pen and just free write about your ideal day so that you can see what your intuition is telling you. I mean, obviously, we're not saying things like we'd like to be sitting on a beach sipping mojitos, right? We're talking about within our life, what we have to do, but just kind of get a sense of what your intuition is telling you. For a long, long time, my body was screaming at me to work less. I had this sense that I needed to work a little bit less to create some space. And my doctor kept saying, don't do it, you'll just still be in pain, but you'll have less money. But actually this intuition kept going and I did it. And it actually made all the difference in the world. It actually started this journey. So that big lifestyle change is what made a big, big difference for me. So if you could do your homework, find your baseline, start brainstorming from there. In our next talk, we're going to look at what my pacing includes. So all of the things that you can consider and use the idea of pacing for, and what the point of it is, and some more practical tips of how to actually use the concept of pacing. So if you want the bonus lesson, make sure you're signed up to the Melissa vs. Fibromyalgia newsletter. It's totally free. You have to sign up before it goes out on the 9th of April. Otherwise, it will only be available in the Melissa vs. Fibromyalgia membership. That is my sliding scale membership. So you can join. There's multiple tier options. You get access to the entire membership. So not only this entire pacing training, but there's a heap of other toolkits and trainings there. And just as an example, all of the templates available for this talk alone are actually sold in my Etsy store for more than you'll pay for a couple of months membership in it. But join us here, wherever here is for you, whether you're on YouTube, either on the Melissa vs. Fibromyalgia Inner Circle Facebook page. We are going to go into all of this good stuff tomorrow.